In 2002, a Half-Genie made her debut on the Game Boy Color. The game mixed inspiration from Metroid and Castlevania, but brought its own identity with magical items, clever abilities, and a cast full of charm. Unfortunately, the timing wasn't so great. The Game Boy Advance had just launched and most players have already moved on. As a result, the game sold poorly, but over time, it rose out of obscurity. In 2010, we finally got a sequel in form of Risky's Revenge, but that wasn't the original plan. A sequel was actually in the works for the Game Boy Advance, but unfortunately was cancelled. For years, fans only got a glimpse of a short demo shown on a live stream nearly a decade later, and that's all we were able to see. Until now. In 2024, WayForward announced something wild. They finished development on that long-lost game, and it's coming to not only on modern consoles, but on the original Game Boy Advance. So, a brand new Game Boy Advance game in the year 2025? Sounds pretty cool, right? But the question is, was it worth the wait? Let's dive into the good, the bad, and everything in between in Shantae Risky Revolution. The story picks up after the first game. Risky Boots is back, and she's discovered a powerful machine called the Tremor Engine. She uses it to transform Scuttletown from ocean paradise to desert wasteland. Now it's up to Shantae to stop her and find members of the Relic Hunters Guild to help save Sequin Land. If you never played a Shantae game before, here's a quick rundown. It's a Metroidvania-style platformer where you explore towns, dive into dungeons, collect upgrades, and unlock new transformations. Risky Revolution stands out because of its design intended for the Game Boy Advance. This isn't just a throwback, it's authentic early 2000s handheld gameplay at its finest. One standout is that Shantae can shift between the foreground and the background, and it's not just for show, it's the key for solving puzzles, finding secrets, and making progress. There are tremor switches in certain levels. Hit one and the layout of the stage changes entirely. That adds a whole new twist to exploration. Transformations are back as well, including the monkey, the crab, the elephant. They're essential for reaching new areas and solving platforming challenges. Enemies often drop health, gems, and other items, and you'll use those gems to buy upgrades, weapons, and boost your abilities. Visually, the game's a treat. The sprite work is colorful, fluid, and packed with personality. The writing? Still sharp. It's got jokes, charm, and clever moments that fans and newcomers can enjoy. And the music? Even with the GBA's compression limitations, the soundtrack hits hard. I think it's actually one of the best in the series. Oh, and there's multiplayer. Up to 4 players can battle using a link cable. It reminds me a little bit of Bomberman and Power Stone. It's chaotic and fun. However, we have to talk about the flaws. Backtracking is a big part of the game. Now, depending on who you ask, it's either a fun challenge or a frustrating experience. The bigger issue, that there's no in-game map, none. It is pretty easy to get lost in this game. And while you do find maps to unlock new areas, it doesn't help when you're already wandering around in circles like an idiot. Also, the game's pretty short. It's not surprising since it was built for the Game Boy Advance, but that is something to keep in mind. So, was this game worth the 20+ year wait? Absolutely. Shantae Risky Revolution is more than a lost relic. It's a time capsule, a game with personality, creativity, and a whole lot of heart. Yeah, it has some rough around the edges, but honestly, that's part of what makes it special. If you love retro games, or if you're just curious about Shantae's roots, this one's worth playing. So grab your Game Boy Advance or whatever console you got, and be prepared to ret to go once again. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.